Top 10 DC's superhero movies you must watch before watching Wonder Woman 1984. Welcome to our channel. Today we bring you the list of DC's top 10 superhero movies you must watch before watching Wonder Woman 1984. The poor movies are very bad, but the roof is lifted as high as it can be taken by Christopher Nolan, Richard Donner, or Patty Jenkins. It's quite a ride. Here are the top 10 DC superhero movies you must watch before watching Wonder Woman 1984. Before we continue, press the subscribe button and press the bell icon for regular updates. Number 10 goes to Batman, Mask of the Phantasm from 1993. Without realizing that they are the first ones in the series, no human being has likely brought up this film in conversation. Although you know Mark Hamill is probably the best Joker. We're not going to go that far, but he's pretty awesome in Phantasm Mask, the big screen iteration of the iconic early 90s animated series. Kevin Conroy voices Bruce Wayne, who, in many ways, must reconnect with his past. In addition, Andrea Beaumont, a former lover who steps back to the world of Bruce, voices Dana Delaney. Like the movie, Mask of Phantasm does a good job of appealing to both children and adults. This is not as violent as the films of Chris Nolan or as kinky as the films of Tim Burton, but it is cleverly crafted and mindful of what makes the Dark Knight such an evergreen character. As for Hamill, as Jared Leto might have you know, he finds his own spin on the Joker's maniacal laugh and demented psyche. This is no simple feat. Number 9. The Dark Knight Rises, released in 2012. The first two Batman films by Christopher Nolan were so stereotype-shifting and so daunting that maybe it was difficult to balance any of them in this third film. The plot is a little traditional. It is more focused around fanboy comics, and sometimes the bombast and scale outpace all the film has to tell. The entire subplot of Occupy Wall Street, on comparison, sounds like a hollow feint, but this is also great blockbuster filmmaking. As unforgettable and frightening as anything in the series is the scene where bombs blast around Gotham. Nolan does not perfectly tie up the trilogy, yet it doesn't mean that The Dark Knight Rises isn't strong yet, and also appropriate. He has gone on, but we still can't do the rest. Number 8 is the 2019 Joker. If nothing else, Joker accomplishes something that in the post-Nolan period seemed almost impossible. Is a DC film that truly feels important, with inspiring dialogue, debate, and contention, a stunning turn of events from years during which the studio created a mostly anonymous product that existed in the towering cultural shadow of Marvel. And then there is the film itself, which aims to do what it sets out to do, create a history for the Joker that both reveals how he became such a horrible character and highlights the brutality of the evil he inspires in the world. Unlike Arthur Fleck, the depressed would-be comedian who can find his calling in the most horrible of ways, Joaquin Phoenix is extraordinary, and it's a performance full of jittery strength. There is nothing about Joker that forgives the actions of the Joker or champions it, and while the whole film might not be as brilliant as its most inspired sequences, Phoenix and director Todd Phillips can offer a new way of thinking about this character. As Phoenix received the SAG Award earlier in the year, he said, "I'm standing here on my favorite actor Heath Ledger's shoulders. A testament to how much Phoenix brought to the role is that two representations of Batman's greatest adversary can stand toe-to-toe. You can absolutely see his Joker as the terrible first inklings of the man that Ledger represented in The Dark Knight." Number 7 goes to Batman from 1989. Batman needs to stay in the shadows of the flamboyant Joker this time around. In this 1989 blockbuster, provided the blueprint for the new superhero film. In this one, colorful production design and moody characters resigned on supreme. Tim Burton downed the main combatants. It was all ice detached from Michael Keaton, while Jack Nicholson ordered all his past intense position to keep his drink so that he could send us a pure ham supervillain. Batman hasn't all kept up. The score of Danny Elfman remains stirring, but genius that he was, Prince sounds a little out of place on the soundtrack. Nevertheless, the grand idea of Burton on how to translate the style of a comic book into the big screen remains impressive. On this ranking, other DC films rate higher, but they're all indebted to what Batman dared to dream of. Number 6, we have the 1992 adventure of Batman Returns. The last Batman movie they ever let Tim Burton make, and that seemed to be Burton's whole intention. This is aggressively strange, and Danny DeVito's Penguin is often just flat out disgusting, which is the opposite of what Warner Brothers Studios expected from its sequel to one of the best movies of all time. But this is already Burton's fastball, and it's fun to watch him exorcise any of his personal demons on this grand level. These are all misfits and outcasts back when Burton found himself always that way when you sense their loneliness. most prominently in the famous Catwoman of Michelle Pfeiffer, who strikes back with fiery revenge. Batman is in a much better place, but arguably more memorable is Batman Returns. Fifth on the list is the 2017 Wonder Woman. For years, Marvel has eaten DC's lunch, but Warner Bros. Studios still has this over their head of its competitor. It made this new superhero era's first female-driven superhero flick that a woman ever directed. However, Wonder Woman that made Gal Gadot a celebrity, and deservedly so, does not do justice to those distinctions. Her depiction of Diana brings the proper regal bearing to this Amazonian princess, but Gadot still appears to have a beautiful, wry sense of humor, as the character tends to be shocked by how odd male mortals are. Director Patty Jenkins montages a few excellent action scenes too. Moviegoers were not really clamoring for any more Superman or Batman features since Wonder Woman. We only needed more of her. Number 4, Superman from 1978. Christopher Reeve explained the secret of playing the Man of Steel later in life. Superman is a big fish in a small pond, he told Esquire. He is Superman on Earth only because he's in a different solar system. If he had grown up in Krypton, Krypton had not been lost, everything remarkable about him would have been only average. That helped me to play the character and make him very casual. Superman is shot through with a winning modesty among his other attributes, embodied by Reeves' no-big-deal depiction of Superman. Perhaps no superhero movie has expressed what a blessing it would be to find out that you have extraordinary abilities. Director Richard Donner chronicles with admiration the origin story of Kal-El, finally exposing us to one of the greatest movie villains in Lex Luthor's dastardly smart-ass played by Gene Hackman. This film might not have been made today. It was too square and so corny. Those are some of the reasons why Superman remains so special. At number 3, Batman Begins from 2005. This is where Christopher Nolan decided for sure that as a simple crafter of clever little puzzle movies, he was not going to be typecast. The Dark Knight was revived from the garbage bin of movie history by Batman Begins, erasing people's memory of the crimes of Joel Schumacher, while still engaging more deeply in the dark viewpoint of the character that Tim Burton's films merely implied. He had previously played a somewhat different kind of rich weirdo in American Psycho. Christian Bale was not an obvious choice for Bruce Wayne, but he added the perfect amount of gravitas to the role so that when the superhero took the suit off, Batman Begins was not less fascinating. As an underestimated Dark Knight nemesis, introduce Liam Neeson to the equation, and you have one of the best tales of origin ever conceived. And Nolan was just getting started, of course. In flying colors at number 2 is the 1980 Superman 2. Superman 2 stands high on the list of success stories in the annals of big-budget movie work. The sequel encountered civil wars, forcing the movie to boot original director Richard Donner, who initially planned the movie to be filmed simultaneously with the first installment. Join Richard Lester, who had to take over the film and reshoot existing material as well. Superman 2, surprisingly, shows no signs of its difficult birth. This is where Superman expresses his passion for Lois Lane, played back then by Margaret Kidder, who comes to learn his true identity. It is also the movie that allowed the fearful Zod, portrayed by Terrence Stamp, who was seen briefly in the 1978 original alongside his evil chums, to strut his things. Superman 2 is inconceivably much more exciting and stirring than its precursor, not to mention touching and sentimental. If only Reeve and company had agreed they should stop there. Number 1 is the 2008 installment of The Dark Knight. If it is something you are good at, never do it for free. Either you die as a hero or you strive long enough to see yourself as a villain. He is the savior that Gotham wants, but not the one he wants right now. Some guys are not asking for something rational. We can't threaten, reason with, or bargain with them. Some men just want to be the burning of the earth. The Dark Knight may also be among the most quotable, beyond being one of the most indelible of all superhero films. And we haven't even discussed the most famous line of the series. Why so serious? Raising the bar after the stellar Batman Begins with his second installment. Director Christopher Nolan dissected the very essence of heroism, evil, and sacrifice. And we had the greatest of all Jokers in Heath Ledger, which is to say the most inexplicable and thus most frightening. Comic book movies before The Dark Knight were mere playthings. Fun yet disposable entertainments. They were kept to higher standards after The Dark Knight. Overall, there was no reason for superhero movies not to be creative, complex, and mesmerizing if Nolan could do this. Since The Dark Knight, DC has stumbled sometimes, burdened by the long shadow of this film created, but it has never been surpassed by any superhero movie. If you like my video, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. And don't hesitate to press the bell icon. Thank you guys for watching.